Fuck this shit. Nekumore!
What up?
Tyler, what's up, man?
Not much. What's up with you?
Welcome to the Cosplay Couch, buddy.
Yo, it's kind of a chair.
Don't be that guy right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Before we start, man, first thing, congrats on the engagement.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited.
You want to explain that story?
You want me to just
Yeah, tell the story.
tell the story about how I got engaged?
Yeah, tell the story.
All right, so I've been dating Heather for
Ever?
like 6 years at this point.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna pop the question. So I asked her, I was like, hey, I want you to get you a ring that I know you're gonna like. So send me some rings that you like, and I'll just pick one from the bunch, and it'll still be kind of a surprise.
Yeah, because it's at a certain point in your relationship, you used to start shopping.
Yeah. So she sends me a bunch of them. I pick one, I order it, and I'm like, cool. In our apartment, my office is closer to the front door, and hers is like way in the back. So whenever a package comes in, I'm always the one to get it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, I can order this, take the package in, hide it, she'll never know. So I order it, and then for whatever freak reason, I was asleep, and the delivery was made super early.
Yeah.
So Heather takes the package, she wakes me up, she's like, what's this? And I'm just like, oh, I ordered a game off of the internet. She's like, got something off of eBay or whatever. And she usually sits around and watches me open packages or whatever, just because, she's curious, whatever. She's not nosy, but but as luck has it, she was off working on some work project, so she goes in the back. I'm like, great, I can open it up, check, make sure it's good. It's not exactly what I ordered, but hopefully it's still good. So I hit it, and in my apartment, I've got these like tall bookcases, right, with a Freddy doll on top. Yeah. So I hit it behind Freddy, and now Freddy wears my hats, so sometimes he like gets knocked over if I change out a hat. And conveniently, I had changed out a hat at some point. But so she comes back to, what'd you get? And I grabbed some game off my shelf. I was like, oh, I just bought this Metroid Fusion, whatever it was. So she's like, okay, cool. A few days goes by, and she's like, hey, I noticed there's a little bit of money missing out of the account. You have any idea like what happened to that? And I'm just like, we've just been eating out a lot, so it's probably just gone to tips and whatnot. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. A couple days later, she notices the Freddy doll where the ring was is slouching, and she's like, how come Freddy's slouching? And I'm like, oh my god, stop asking questions. I was like, I just changed his hat. He must have got knocked over. And she's like, okay, whatever. She had like all these like, I don't want it to be public. I don't want a scene made. Right. If you do, I'm gonna say no straight out. Yeah. So like, all right, cool. So we were going to a convention in July. Yeah, AC. And I was like,
that's coming up, so just...
Oh, shit, okay. So I was like, so Anthrocon, yeah, so perfect, dude. I'm going to order the same color glow stick that I had when I met her. Because the way I met Heather is I was glow sticking at a party, string broke, glow stick went flying right past her head. Like, literally, like, and, so that's how we started talking. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, so I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna order the same color glow sticks. It's gonna be super romantic. We're going to the same party, whatever. Yeah. The guy I ordered my sticks from didn't have that color. It's like, come on, dude.
Really?
But I was like, hey, we're gonna be there on July 4th. Yeah. So how romantic would it be if there were fireworks going off in the background and I was able to pop the question? Yeah. Perfect. Well, July 4th comes and it's storming.
Yeah, it was
raining. They said, okay, we're not doing fireworks. Yeah. Like, fuck, of course. So we go to dinner, and I'm trying to think of like when a good time to pop the question is, and then we find out, oh yes, wait, they're still doing the fireworks, right? What happened?
Keep going.
Oh, keep going. Okay, so they're still doing the fireworks. So we get down. So we're like, okay, we're rushing down to. Rushing down to the dock where they're going to be on display, right? Yeah. Crowded, tons of people. Shit, what am I going to do? She doesn't want to be like a scene made. Right. We look down over the dock, and there's a little circle on the ground where there's nobody. Right. And the fireworks show is going off, whatever. They're like, okay, cool, there's no one down there for some reason. So I'm like, come on, guys, we gotta go down. We want to go down there. Nobody knows. Yeah. They're like, but we're fine up here. And I'm like, trust me, this is going to be really important. We get down to that spot where there was nobody, and the reason why there was nobody is because there's a bridge in the way of the fireworks display. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it, now or never. So I walked up, and I'm like, the first thing I said was, hey, you remember how you said there was money missing out of the account? She just goes, don't. And I'm like, I pulled the ring out, and I'm like, I want you to marry me. Will you be my bride? And she's just like, It was really fun. I have the video somewhere, and yeah, so that's how I proposed. It was, oh god, it was one hurdle after another. It was like I had been planning this for months.
Just to give her a damn ring.
Oh, it was awesome, but like it was awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so what was your first cosplay?
My first cosplay.
Sorry, I know.
That's cool. My first cosplay was in like 2004. I was cosplaying a terrible Neo from the Matrix. It was basically this with sunglasses and a trench coat because they wouldn't let me bring my plastic guns into the con space.
Really?
Yeah, they were orange tipped. They were very clearly fake, and like they're just like, nah, we don't want to promote that here. Okay.
So
I was just a kid in a trench coat with glasses.
You were skinny back then.
Terrible. I was thick then in high school. It was all like I got a bunch of meat on me now, but no. Yeah. So after that, I went to like Itachi and Ichigo from Bleach, and then moved on to Link, which is where I met you.
Right.
And I'm kind of defaulting to Link whenever I cosplay.
Okay. So you said you were cosplaying in college.
Yeah. I a couple of years. I cosplayed more. So in high school, we were going to like Toricon, Otakon, and there's a third one that I can't think of. And then when I started going to college, we just kept Toricon and Otakon like every other year. And then now it's just basically Retro Game Con.
Yeah. I hear a lot about Toricon, good and bad.
Tora's...
Okay.
My last time I went there, I had the absolute worst experience. And I'm not saying it's like, oh, the whole con's bad, but it was the con that made me like, I'm never going to Tora, and I don't recommend you do either.
You did a Roxas one time that really amazed me.
Oh yeah, there was a Roxas back in...
And I was like, oh my god, what happened? I went to college.
Yeah, it was in high school. I remember I had a couple of friends who were trying to help me like tease my hair so that it would like stick up the way it was supposed to.
Right.
Never worked. But I still have that jacket somewhere.
Nice.
So
do you consider yourself more of a buyer or a maker?
if you had asked me maybe 5 years ago, I'd be a buyer. So I don't really know what I was doing, especially like early on. Now I'm a maker.
You make a lot of props.
Yeah, I'm making a ton of props now. I'm working on the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core now.
Yeah, I had a whole subsection about that.
Oh shit.
That's okay.
But yeah, I'm working on once I get the funding for it, I'm gonna be remaking my Link cosplay completely from scratch.
Okay. Now you kinda answered this, but you kinda didn't. So when did furry happen? Before or after college?
During.
During?
I never knew that was like a thing, and then one of my friends was like pulling up pictures and was like, "Oh, look at this! This is so funny." I remember just kind of looking at it. And my favorite game. Oh, let me just preface this by saying my favorite game of all time is Majora's Mask, and if you're unfamiliar, please play it. It's a wonderful game. I played the GameCube version though, but the whole premise is like wearing masks and shit, and I love that. I love the idea of not necessarily like anonymity. I can't say the word anonymous. Yeah. Whatever. But that's. Like seeing the cost, like I had no idea what the negative connotations to the whole furry thing was.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Go ahead.
Like that's not something that I subscribe to personally. Like obviously it exists, but I always thought the costumes was like the coolest thing. Just dressing up in these different costumes, like people hand making them or whatever. I don't know. I think it's the costuming and like how people interact with the public or with other people in costume. That just kind of like drew me towards the fandom, and like I still consider myself one, though not as like, I don't know, hard to say.
Right, you and Heather both into it, right?
Yeah, that's how we met actually. We met at Anthrocon. It was cool.
Do you have your own furry suit?
No, well I have a mask. I have like costume pieces,
mm-hmm.
But I don't own like a full body thing.
So no fur sewn?
Well, I obviously have one.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about obviously. There's one that I like use to represent myself.
Right.
But it's not like a lifestyle thing. It's
right. Okay, so the furry fandom has always been kind of the, redhead stepchild of like the cosplay community. So in certain points. I'm gonna finish the question. I'll let you.
Okay. I'm gonna finish the question. No, let me stop you right there. Yeah, go ahead.
But like I guess. It's been like a way where people should see it, but how do you think people should see it? And what did the Rule 32 part of it due to the fandom.
Rule 32?
You know, if there's something about his porn.
Oh, 34.
Is it 34?
Yeah.
So what's Rule? Oh, it's like little things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
yeah,
good.
Rule 34. What did that
so
do to the fandom?
I don't think it's fair for me to
speak on the entire thing.
Yeah, speak on the entire thing. I can only speak on my experiences.
Right. Do that.
So what was the first part of the question?
How should we see it, if we see it at all? In your opinion, because when I saw it, I was like, Remember I was talking to you about it.
So okay. Full disclosure, it's very strange. I'm not going to use the word weird. Everything's Marvel's weird. It's a whole nother level of different, right?
Right.
I think that obviously acknowledging the more negative parts of the fandom that sometimes get all of the attention, unfortunately, I think understanding that, go into it with an open mind, be curious. It's obviously very strange. People are just having fun.
Because I've seen your Instagram video and it opened my eyes. I was like, oh, these people are dope.
Yeah. There's a lot of really amazing people, and I remember we were trying to interview people at Anthrocon one year before we got completely shut down by the con staff because they're just like, we don't want it, because they had no idea who I was, and it's fair. I didn't know there was a press pass thing. There was one guy who's like, yeah, if I hadn't found these people and if I hadn't discovered the fandom, I'd probably have killed myself. And I'm just like,
right?
Other people are just like, yeah, I have a lot of friends here. There's a lot of people who are into the same things as I. The thing about it is you see a lot of people that are just kind of assume that a fursuiter that's their whole personality. But there's kind of you see people, they have so much more to them than what you see.
Right.
So I think encountering a fursuiter, if you have no experience with the fandom, is to just kind of go at it with an open mind. If you're uncomfortable, bail. Cool, whatever.
Yeah, because I've seen you, me and you, we go to cons together, and it was mostly this Comic-Con or whatever. But then you see a furry, and you're just like.
Because it's not like a furry. It's not like a furry convention, you know. Right. So it's.
You're very much I'm gonna talk to them and get their information and all that kind of thing.
Well, I like to be as forward and.
And Heather adopted the one girl at Retro.
That was funny,
yeah.
but I like to let them know, because a lot of times you hear people that are just kind of oh, the furry should kill themselves, but whenever I see them, I think it's, first of all, I admire their bravery for going to a non-furry thing in suit. But at I say bravery, but people are dicks sometimes. Yeah. So bravery. Mm-hmm. But I also I make it a point to communicate, because I want them to know, hey, if you're feeling unsafe or if you're worried about something, come find us. We're Con Mom now.
Yeah.
But just, and also it's a super uncommon thing around here. So when you see someone come through at Retro Game Con, it's just kind of shit, okay.
And they're always really young.
They're usually pretty young around here. You go to Anthrocon though, and you'd be surprised at how many older people are actually the ones suiting, because suits are dumb expensive. So
right.
If you don't make it yourself, it's $2,000, $3,000. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I think I answered both parts of that.
You did.
All right, cool.
Well, we didn't really go into the sex thing, but.
Oh, let me touch base on that just to clear that up. What was the question?
Yes. How do you think Rule 34, maybe messed up or ruined it, or not even just affected the fandom? Because there's porn with everything.
Oh, absolutely. That's why Rule 34 is a thing.
Yeah.
I think the way people outside of the fandom see it is animals, but it's not that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not qualified to speak for the entire fandom. This is just from my experience, so take it with a grain of salt. The animalistic qualities of a character are more of a personality rather than that's a cat. So
that's a cat.
Yeah,
plow and talk.
Why you gotta say it like
that?
I'm sorry. But so the thing about it is it's there, and people can be aggressively forward with it, but I don't, at least in my experience, it hasn't been any more so than say hentai fans or Rule 34 fans. I think it's something that we should not pretend doesn't exist, but it's not the focus of the group. If you see a fursuiter, they're not there for a sexual whatever. They're there to be in costume and have fun. So just until given reason to be wary otherwise, just chill, just have fun. They're just there to make someone smile. It's if it's not your thing, go somewhere else.
How'd you do Retro Game Con that year?
Retro Game Con? Okay, so I moved back from Pittsburgh, and we were making plans. I was making plans to move Heather up from Pittsburgh. We were going to get our first apartment together.
Right.
I find a post about it on Facebook. One of my friends is going, and I'm looking into this. I'm like, because at that time I was like really getting like, okay, I'm focused on collecting retro games now. Like I had a collection, but I wasn't like into it like super. So I see this convention for retro games, and I'm like, fucking awesome.
Right.
And I was telling Heather about it. I couldn't afford to go at the time because I was still in between jobs at that point. Right. So Heather sends me a message over Facebook, like, check your email. All right. She got me tickets. She got me VIP tickets to go to Retro Game Con that year.
Right.
And I was like, awesome! I have the Link cosplay. I have all my props ready to go. Fuck it, I'm gonna go. And then that was the year. That was the day I met you. That was awesome. So yeah.
That was.
Found Retro Game Con through Facebook, and
that was fun for me because I'd say that 1 minute and 25 seconds changed my life.
Oh yeah.
And I do, man. You did a lot for the channel.
Always happy to help,
Like crazy. Favorite cosplay moment. Because when I got more into it, you kind of started doing other things.
So because you'd interviewed me twice in the Link cosplay. That's because that's the only one I have. And honestly, probably if you do a cosplay interview with me next night, it's going to be my Dragon Link cosplay.
Right.
I guess I didn't want to let that slip yet. I'm doing another Link cosplay with a little bit more of an artist's. Anyway, favorite cosplay moment.
If you had one.
Yeah, actually, I was at Symphony of the Goddesses with Mitch, and I think Janine was there too. Anyway, Mitch and I were dressed up in our Links, and both very very different. They were both very different from very the same styles of Link. So we get into the place to get our like ID or our ticket and the collector stuff that came with it, and there was just this group of like side character Zelda cosplayers, like Marin, Malin. I can't think of them right now. I have pictures of them, yeah. But they stormed us. They were all getting their own pictures with Link in different poses and whatnot, and it was just one of those moments where it was just like, what is happening? it was really cool because you don't see, I don't know, you don't really see that at like a variety con like Retro. But
there was a group cosplay at Retro a couple years back where they were the mailman and and
the Majora's Mask the mailman.
No, the mailman from Wind Waker.
Oh, okay. The Ruda,
where he runs really fast.
Yeah.
So like they were like, okay, these two are on stage, and all of a sudden like you just hear some guy bolting to the stage.
Oh, he's like running. He's got the red hat and the white
and the flag and everything.
Oh yeah, that was Twilight Princess.
I was like, that's dope.
That was awesome.
That's dope. Yeah, so that was a fun one. Where you see like Zelda cosplays. I don't know if you've ever seen a male guy, but
oh yeah, well not in cosplay.
Oh,
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So you started building props,
mm-hmm.
like professionally a while back, but you've always been doing the prop thing. Because you had the red shield.
Sort of.
That, right?
Yeah. The mirror shield I made was the first prop that I like handmade completely. No, that's not true. It's the second prop I made. But
what made you just do props?
I just wanted to make something, and so I made the mirror shield, and I had that for a really long time, and that lasted forever. It was literally made out of foam core board and duct tape and paint.
Right.
I still have it. It's on my wall.
Yeah,
it's kind of what inspired me. Yeah. So then Heather shows me a video from another YouTube channel. I think it's Punish Props or something like that.
Right.
Where they're making stuff, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I want to do that. And I ended up making a mirror shield following their tutorial, and then I don't know, something just from there clicked, and I'm like, I need to make other shit. I made a hook shot. I made the Kokiri sword. I made Bigoron sword. I made a lot of Zelda items because Zelda items are like,
that Kokiri sword. Deku Shield story is the best one.
Oh, the little kid?
Yeah.
That was funny. I've been trying to sell that all year at Retro, and then I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be back. I get a text message from Heather and Kayla in all capital letters, they sold, and I'm like, funny. Real funny. I get back and I'm like, funny, guys. And they're like, oh, no, here's the money. And I was just like, your kid, like, really? That's awesome. And the kid came back, he was so excited. He's like holding it up, he's like screaming. It's great. It was funny.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your next prop?
I'm working on...
Or what are props you've done that you're proud of?
Props I've done? So the mirror shield, the Gerudo mirror shield, I made the screaming mirror shield from Majora's Mask. And that is probably my favorite prop I've ever made because it has like the shocked face or the screaming face on it.
Yeah.
And if you were to hit that in light and like it would reflect the face on...
Oh, how'd you pull that off?
It was just a freak accident, dude. Like I used so there's a piece of foam core board it's like glittery, and it's just the way the light reflects off of it. I don't know. I had black paint on it for the face, and it just worked. I'll have to send you the video of it, but it's really awesome. I paired that with the gilded sword from Majora's Mask, so those two are probably my favorite.
What's the blade you made for Janine?
Brotherhood. It is Titus' sword from Final Fantasy X. It's his, I guess it's his second sword. He gets a gift from Waka.
How'd she enjoy that?
She really liked it. She's like, I have a video actually about. I took a video of it specifically. She's just kind of like, she picks it up, right, and she's just kind of like, she's like holding it. She's like, I don't want to hit anyone with this, and almost hits Kelsey in the face with the other end of it. It was really funny. So she flips it up so she can unwrap it, and she's like feeling it, and she's like, I think I know what this is, and I'm like, I guess you're gonna have to open it then.
Yeah.
So she opens it, and she's like, oh, it's really cool.
Oh, so she knew off the bat.
She didn't. She had an idea, but like when she opened it, she saw the blue blade. You could see her face just light up, and she's like, yeah, I gotta do my best to not hit
pretty
people.
Reserved.
She's very
So
reserved.
did she like explode or?
She didn't like explode, but she was glowing. She was smile ear to ear. It was just a really nice moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
When are you gonna make my Killmonger swords? No, I'm just kidding.
I forgot about those.
Yeah,
shit.
It's all good. It's all good. Your lovely girlfriend Heather is very open when it comes to her opinion on sexy cosplay. Whereas she's just like, I could do without it. In the nicest way. What's your opinion? But you're gonna say something.
No, it's she's really funny because she's not against it, but she's also just kind of like, is it necessary? But then she's like, I'm not gonna tell someone they can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. She doesn't tell people. She does like if she has an opinion about someone's like sexy cosplay, she's very much just kind of like
the one I shared recently with Cosmo. It's a thing. Mm. So I was just like, oh, she's pissed. She wasn't pissed. Oh, okay.
She's not the type of person to judge anyone like that. But she's absolutely the type of person that's kind of like, is that necessary?
I was like, this one's accurate. But what's your opinion of it?
I kind of share the same opinion with her, but like my opinion doesn't matter, I guess. Right. I'm also just kind of like because there's so many people out there that are doing that whole like sexy cosplay thing, right. And at some point you're just kind of like, okay, I mean if you want, but like again, who cares? They can do what they want.
Right.
I don't think like over sexifying a cosplay necessarily detracts from it, but I think a lot of people are, I can't think of a better word, attracted to the cosplay for the wrong reason.
Right.
But I mean, again, none of my business.
Okay, how did your relationship with Webcam Nick affect your cosplay life? Like, what cosplays have you seen hanging out with Webcam Nick or going to cons with him?
Yo.
I'm serious. You've been a part of a lot of shit. You don't even know it.
I've seen a ton of cosplays. I watch your videos as you post them.
Yeah.
So basically, any cosplay you see and talk to, something I've seen.
What about being my cameraman?
It was fun. Although I will say the one time you had me wear your shirt and everyone's like, "Oh, you're Webcam Nick too," and I'm like, "No, I'm a different person. Just help Nick." Oh, Nick hired you? No, not exactly.
The first time.
That was funny. That was really funny. Yeah, it was my first day. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun, you know, going to cons with you sometimes. So we got to get you your own table though next year. Cause like, sometimes you get to a point where you're just like, you have all this stuff you can't really carry around because you're doing it, which no one's mad at you for. We're just kind of like, Nick, Like, we sold your bat, remember?
Yeah, I remember
that show was funny. No, it's been a lot of fun. You see a lot of people. You're way more outgoing than Heather and I are, so sometimes when people come to the table, it's just kind of like, whoa, hey, guy.
What was it like just recording the Monica Lee interview?
Oh my god, dude! I don't want you to think this is like bad. Like I was cringing.
No. Yeah,
like the guy spent like 5 minutes just talking about like everyone pees and poops the same way, and you're just having a conversation with Monica Lee about it, and I'm just like sitting here with the camera just.
She is right there with me. She's right there with the gross.
Are we gonna?
I knew who I was talking
to. Nick. She has a Nick. It's like
I guess my question, one of my real questions is, how do you feel about corresponding with a lot of cosplayers? Because you watch my videos.
Your correspondence?
Yeah, like how am I?
You're good. I think you're good. I think clearly what you're doing is working. You have over 500 60 something subs now.
522.
522.
Yeah.
I don't think you should change.
I was at a party on New Year's with Mako. She was like, ask different questions. Ask about the weather. I was like, excuse me?
Wait, what? You got to see her again?
Mako. No.
Oh, Mako. I thought you said Monica.
No, Mako.
I think maybe if you like started asking more people more about like
stuff,
like the background of what made them want to choose. So I think you used to do that at one point, and then it just kind of became more, not generic, but like just
doing it to do it.
Yeah, show us your cosplay, who you cosplay, and tell us what. Like, I think one con you should throw in just a completely unrelated question. Just be like, what's the best type of sushi to go with your costume, or just something.
Right. Let's see. What's this one? What the fuck did I just write?
Nick, you good, dude?
No, I wrote something. Oh, what drove you to retro games?
What drew you to retro games?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like every other retro game collector, it's a lot of what they what they grew up with. Yeah. There's obviously a big nostalgia thing to it, but I think to me the limitations of retro platforms kind of gave birth to a little bit more creativity.
Right.
Whereas now resources are virtually endless when creating games and whatnot, so everything kind of feels samey.
Right.
Unless there's something like really special that comes out, but like you pick any any of like the decent Super Nintendo games, and you just pop it in, and it's an adventure, dude. And then of course Angry Video Game Nerd. I was watching him since 2007, 2008, and I was like, I want that. So when I was in a position where I could actually start, throwing some money aside to actually starting a collection, and then it just kind of evolved.
Your collection's pretty good, man.
It's all right. I've got some more things I want to grab, but.
How are you with Pro Jared at the moment?
Pro Jared?
Yeah, with his whole controversy.
Dude,
where are you at now?
So his
as a fan,
Pro Jared was like a huge inspiration to me. So when the accusations against him came out,
You watched it all?
Yeah, I watched both sides of the accusation. I was completely. Fuck it. I was heartbroken. Like.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think it's weird when people get attached to one certain person to the point where they need to like know everything about them. Like those magazines that you see at shopping. It's like, Leo broke up with. Who fucking cares? But then like this happened. I'm just kind of like, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I was really depressed for a super long time, and like I gave my own share of like fuck Jared's, but like as a meme. I was still like, and then when Jared came out with his like 50-minute video with evidence against everything that was said to him, he had my undivided attention. And Heather walked in and was just kind of like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "We're putting this on the big fucking TV. Is what's happening. This is important." So when we found out, hey, Jared was innocent this whole time, I was out of my chair, like fucking like I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Right.
I was walking. I was pacing on the apartment so much. Heather was like, "You need to sit down." I'm like, no. Top of the world.
Right.
My boy Jared was innocent this whole fucking time.
It's kind of like me with the Damascus thing. I was like, this has got to be fake.
I'm glad to see Toby's making more videos.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Like I don't know if his channel is still because that the whole thing happened, and then just kind of the way he presents his videos never really evolved. And the thing about it is like he had to do a lot of growing up real quick because of this whole thing going on. Kind of like Jared did. Jared looks like shit, or he looked like shit. He looked like he lost like 20 years.
Sleep.
Yeah,
he needs sleep, and I don't know if he moved back home, but. I think so.
But I started watching some Tobuscus videos, and the way he addresses his audience is still very much the way 2013 Toby was. And I don't know, it's not my thing anymore. Yeah. I'm glad to see he's making videos. I want him to do well.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's that one accusation can change everything.
It's why like obviously I'm technically a nobody in the world, but like when somebody like starts talking. Like, I'll talk to people to be nice, but, like, it's not going any further than that. Like, full stop.
Let's talk about, we're going to talk about one more thing out of cosplay, then we're going to get back into cosplay.
All right, cool.
TikTok. Tell us your TikTok story, Mr. Famous.
I was a viral TikToker for all of a week, and then my account got hacked at the end. No, so, I think I mentioned it earlier, talking about Heather. From like 2009 to like 2016, I was doing a lot of glow sticking or glow stringing specifically, which if you don't know, is you get shoelaces, you put glow sticks on the end of them, you dance, you do your poi, whatever, move on. There's tons of videos on it. Look up glow sticking and you'll glow string.
Dude.
Huh?
You're not bad.
I used to be very good.
As a bigger guy, you'd be out there.
Like I can still do it. I can still do it well, but I used to be super good. I was. I caught the attention of some of the most well-known stringers in the community, and I went to New Jersey to string with some of these guys, and they're amazing.
Right.
Then I kind of got out of it.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I don't hate TikTok. It wants to be Vine. It'll never be Vine.
I made a ton of TikToks. Mine's are great.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of TikToks that I'm proud of, but like the one that I made was just like I made this video about like some glow sticking concept that I had. Right. There's a move called an orbital where you pull strings together, or you like have the strings hit each other and you pull them at a certain angle and they spin like a ball.
Dope move.
And they keep like wrapping and unwrapping around each other, so it looks like it never ends, and then you just pull them apart.
Then he went to sleep.
I combined that move with a certain type of flower, which when you spin the glow sticks in a certain way, it looks like you're making flowers.
Right.
So I combined the move by doing a flower and then had the strings hit in a certain way to pull to make the orbital happen. So it was this one really fluid move and it looked awesome. And then I went to bed. I posted it, went to bed, just like, you know what, whatever, it's not going to do anything. I wake up to the middle of the night, my phone is blowing up, and I'm like, someone just fucking died. Who needs to get a hold of me this bad? I pull it up. Yeah, I pull it up. It's TikTok.
Yeah.
I had like 4,000 followers in less than a couple hours. I'm like, what is happening? And then like I was like, all right, I just muted it. I was like, it's probably just a bunch of bots. I'll go to bed and I'll deal with it. 24 hours after that video had been posted, the video had been viewed over 1.2 million times, and I had over 10,000 followers.
Yeah. And the comments were...
the comments were great. I made a whole video out of it.
Yeah.
But you had a whole bunch of people that were just like, you know, this will get you famous, this will get you famous.
Give me praise. Some of them give you genuine praise.
Yeah, they're like, wow, this is dope. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's something from like the mid-2000, early 2010s. It's like... So I kind of was like, all right, I'll go along with it for a little bit. People were asking questions like, how could I start? I made a video, how do you start? Like, what kind of moves should I learn first? Just spin. Just hit yourself. Get used to the feeling of hitting yourself.
And then
I got hacked. I didn't give a shit about the TikTok account because it wasn't going to go anywhere, I thought.
Yeah.
So I made my password something stupid, and someone was able to log into my account because it was like password 12 or something.
Oh my god.
Never do something simple like that for shit you care about. But yeah,
can you imagine being?
I wonder if do I have still the app on my phone?
Can you imagine being the TikToker, the glow stick TikToker? Like you're at like VidCon and you're meeting like these social media guys and you're teaching.
I do still have the TikTok app on here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Your account was logged out. Try logging in again. Oh no. Okay, it's gone forever.
Oh,
but
forever?
Yeah. So somebody like changed my name to fucking whatever, and like the.
Would you ever try to like repost any of that or no?
No, I don't. I don't want. As much as I enjoy glow sticking, it's not something that I want to pursue. It's not like my glow sticking time's come and done. It was like my early 20s. It's still fun to do every now and then, but like I don't have the drive to like learn new shit and be like, yo, learn this new move, guys. Watch me do this fucking.
See, I would have jumped on that because I'm just a whore. I would have jumped on that.
So I was like, all right, fuck it. If people are like, before I got hacked though, I did make a video where I was like, go check out my YouTube channel, and I ended up gaining like 50 subscribers from it. So it's cool.
Competing in cosplay. Have you ever competed in a cosplay contest?
Yes. I ended up being deemed disqualified.
Okay.
The reason why I did it at the Retro Game Con that I met you, 2014.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
I didn't. The cosplay contests.
Was it the fairgrounds or the on-center?
It was at the on-center, but it was in the far room.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, dude, you won, and I was like, I don't want the prize. I didn't want to compete for a prize because I don't know. I guess like I feel like I didn't deserve it. Like I made my whole thing obviously, but I was like, I just want to fucking show off. I don't give a shit if I win or not. And they're just like, are you sure? Yeah. They're like, okay, well, you won. I'm like, cool. Who's the runner-up? They won.
I'll take that prize, man.
Well, I didn't.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what I was thinking or what my reasoning was, but I just remember being like, I'll do it, but like I don't want the prize.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't want. If I win, I don't want a prize. And they're like, well, you won. No, I didn't. I said I didn't want the prize.
Who got it then?
I don't remember. It's been almost 5 years. 2020, 5 years. Yeah.
Right. All right, man. I have one more question, and I will pretend to write it down. If you could go back in time and talk to Tyler as soon as you start to pick up, whatever cosplay he's about to do, the very first cosplay, and you had one piece of advice before you go, hey, before you do this, I want you to know this. So what would you tell the young Tyler?
Put the fucking trench coat away. Just buy some shit online. Get a real character that people can recognize instead of looking like you're about to go shoot up a place. that
so much anger.
That dude, no. So that cosplay, I actually met one of my good friends. We'll call him JD because it isn't like his name.
Yeah.
But I'll call him JD. He ran Caffeinated Press. He was a cosplay photographer,
right.
And I remember he thought it was really funny because I was supposed to have like Neo's guns or whatever, and he just like so we took pictures and whatnot, and a couple years later when I went into college, one of my friends there was like, hey, we're gonna go to this dude's house and play Super Smash Brothers Melee. You in? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in. Smash Brothers Melee? Hell yeah, let's go. I get there and I'm like, get to the guy's house. I didn't know it was him. Yeah. I was like, you look really familiar. And like he starts talking to me about this thing, and I'm like, do you remember the really bad Neo from that costume? And he's like, oh my god, that's you. Just like, yeah, without the trench coat.
Gained 100 pounds. I was kidding.
That's pretty much what happened. People are like, it's the freshman 15. No, boy, it's the freshman 50.
Oh my god. Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? Like your fans, your friends, your family, everyone out there?
How to word it? Like, relax. Like, don't take life too seriously. I feel like a lot of people want to do something, but then they're kind of like they end up not doing it because they're just like it's not as good as that person. Like,
right.
Like I don't know. Get inspired by people and don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to them, but get inspired by them. Right. If you want to make a cosplay but you've never done it before, do it. I value self-improvement. Like, the one thing I want to push this year is self-improvement. Right. I don't care how much, like, I don't care how much you do, but just do something new. Do something scary. I'm making a Buster Sword using a skeletal system on the inside that I'm not sure will work.
Right.
And the only thing that's going to happen, like, if this Buster Sword doesn't work, hey, I know I need to do something too, but I've improved. So just do things. Right. Even if it doesn't make sense to someone else, if it's something you want to do, just do it. Right. Just do what you can to improve, and you never know what could happen. I mean, all the people you see today in some type of media, like YouTubers and shit, they started out just like you might start out. Just maybe you've got a camera and you want to shoot something. Also, the other thing on the same vein, don't be afraid of cringe. There's two different types of cringe that you see people. Like, we talked about furries earlier. People are like, oh, I don't want to do it because people think it's cringy. Fuck it. If you want to wear a giant animal costume, wear a giant animal costume. Right. The cringe you should avoid is some of this. Nick, go in for the fist bump on camera. This is the kind of cringe you should avoid. You know, like...
I hate you.
Bad handshakes are the worst, dude. I hate when people are going to shake my hand. I'm just like, fist bump, please. I don't want to be.
It's clammy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Self-improvement. Don't be afraid of cringe. People are going to be dicks. Who gives a shit?
You want to give them a be nice to each other?
Be nice to each other. Stay awesome. Don't do anything that any of us would do. And I guess we'll catch you in Nick's next video.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I don't know. Who do you think should be next?
I think you should get... Zach hasn't really cosplayed. Who should be next? It's a good question.
Someone out of our circle.
Out of our circle?
Because Jordan's jumping. I'm like, Jordan, I already have you planned. Just sit still.
Ooh, someone out of our circle. I feel like I've got someone good.
Who's that?
I don't know, but I feel like I could probably find someone good. We'll have to talk about it more.
No, just if you have a cosplayer in mind, go ahead. Just say someone.
Just say someone.
Yeah, because Johnny said me, and I'm like, you're an idiot.
Get Mitch.
Oh, God, Mitch.
Dude, get Mitch in here. He'd come in he'd come in his Hanzo cosplay.
And there's the camera.
Did it just die?
It just died.
Oh, fuck.
I'm glad it did that. Because I know that footage is there now.
Best possible.
It locked in there.
Hey, get Mitch.